It's Erin Sorensen with Hail Varsity. I am joined by recruiting analyst Greg Smith, and we are back for another recruiting question of the week. Greg, how are you?
I am very well. I feel like we've made it to the other side. I see the sun poking through my basement window, so I'm very happy.
It is, thankfully, bright and sunny in Nebraska right now. For many of you who don't live in the eastern side of Nebraska right now, it's probably even going to be warmer where you are because you didn't get a surprise 6 inches of snow on Sunday. So lucky for you. Quite the wake-up call if you're a recruit, though, from a warm weather state. I'll say that much.
Definitely.
But keeping our focus on recruits that actually are from near Nebraska with this specific recruiting class. This week, Brian Brashaw on Twitter asked some Twitter account, maybe Pick Six Previews, rated Nebraska's tight end recruiting class as #1 in the country. For those not paying attention, fill us in. Now, Greg, really quick, I want to say Pick Six Previews did come along and say it wasn't them, although they did say that they thought Padoni would be an excellent addition for Nebraska. I still wanted to shout them out because Pick Six Previews is very good at what they do. But knowing that somebody somewhere has rated Nebraska's tight end recruiting class as the #1 in the country, fill those who might not be super detailed recruiting fans or experts like yourself. Let us know what we need to know.
Yeah, so essentially, and it's funny, it starts with what Pick Six Previews mentioned, because that's what everybody knows about Nebraska's tight end class, or really their recruiting class in general, is that they signed Thomas Padoni, the 4-star tight end from Lewis Central High School in Council Bluffs, right across the river, who is, depending on where you look, the #1 or the #2 tight end in the country. I saw him play in person multiple times. I followed him every week, and I would be like hard pressed to believe that there's another tight end better than him out there. But I don't want to be biased, just because I saw him. He's really good. As people that were casual recruiting fans may not know, I mean, he had offers from all over the country. Could have went anywhere around the nation, and had the who's who of college football kind of after him throughout the season. And he committed to Nebraska. The other thing, though, that I think also drives this is that beyond Fedoni, Nebraska did sign 2 other tight ends. It's kind of unique when you take 3 tight ends in a recruiting class, but Nebraska needed to do that because they did not have any didn't have any youth at the tight end position. It wasn't that they don't have good tight ends on the roster. They do, with Austin Allen, Travis Vokalek, and last year Jack Stoll. But there just is a gap between the ages and who's on campus and who needed to come in. So they signed 2 other ones, 2 other guys from right here in the state, James Carney from Norris High School right here near Lincoln, and then AJ Rollins from Creighton Prep out in Omaha. And both of them are really intriguing prospects that kind of saw their stocks did kind of different things throughout the recruiting process. AJ Rollins was offered as early as anyone that ended up in this class by Nebraska. I think Sean Beckton saw him at one of the Husker camps and then offered him right away before he was really a major recruit on the scene. He's about 6'5" or so, 220. And more of a blocking tight end, but does have good receiver skills as well. He got to use that some at Creighton Prep. And then on the other end of that spectrum was James Carney, who like at this time last year, no one knew who James Carney was. And then as I've talked to him a few times, he put on a lot of weight. I think it was 45 pounds between his junior and senior year to really build his body up to be a Power Five type of prospect, but still retained his speed, which is always good. Those new age tight ends, and he goes about 6'5", 215 or so as well. And so then his recruiting stock continued to rise over the course of the cycle, ended up where he got an offer from Iowa. Then Nebraska came in, offered him. He always had his heart set on going to Nebraska. I think he was waiting on to see that to the last minute if they would offer him. And when you put those 3 together, that's how you end up with Nebraska having the #1 recruiting class in the country for tight ends.
And I mean, they're joining a pretty impressive group at Nebraska. I always joke that Sean Beckton and Scott Frost have essentially recruited a basketball team. But I mean, you have Austin Allen, who's 6'8", Kurt Raftel, who's 6'7", Travis Vokalek, 6'6", Fedoni, 6'5", Carney, 6'5", AJ Rollins, 6'6". Your shortest tight end right now is redshirt freshman John Goodwin from Lincoln High. He's 6'2", and I wouldn't exactly go out of my way to call that short.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I will say, I won't make you answer this, especially if you want to include this in your recruiting notebook later, but it does fit nicely with the person asking if Austin Allen is the number one tight end in this group going into spring ball. I'm going to say, I would say yes, but he's got quite a bit of competition right now.
Yeah, definitely, which is a good thing, right?
Yes.
I think the more that you can get that, where like you have established guys on the roster that have played good football for the team, and Austin Allen, I've said this before, and I will keep saying it, was one of the players that most impressed me over last season. I think that he's really improved. I know that the Husker fans will like this, that Thomas Padoni has kind of gone under his wing and really is active in trying to learn from Austin Allen. So yes, we will talk more about that later tonight in the recruiting notebook.
If you're wondering what we're talking about, so if you're new, this is a new feature that we're doing every week, our new series. It's the recruiting question of the week. We'll answer a question that you asked Greg at Greg Smith HV on Twitter, and we'll do that in video form right here on YouTube. So make sure that you're subscribed to our YouTube channel. However, you also want to go to Hail Varsity and just bookmark Hail Varsity, because every evening, Sunday through Thursday at 6 p.m. Central, Greg releases his latest recruiting notebook. On Mondays, it's a deeper dive at the very topic that we talk about in these videos. So if you want more, that this is a great way to do it. We give you a little bit here, and then you have to come back later, but it's totally fine, because now Greg will do what he does best, which is further deep dive into the topics that you have questions about. So again, 6 p.m. Central on at hailvarsity.com. I can tell it's Monday, by the way, because my brain is in about 3 different places at one moment. But yeah, you definitely want to bookmark that. And again, you can reach out to Greg anytime at Greg Smith HV on Twitter. He can hold on to your questions until next week, or maybe just answer them early. You never know.
You never know what you'll get with me.
But right now, what we do know is Nebraska has a pretty impressive tight end class. We are seeing a pretty impressive tight end group. Sean Beckton has certainly done his job, and then some.
Yeah.
Lot to be eager for whenever spring ball officially starts.
Right. Whenever we get there, and then the spring game, which would be a lot of fun to be able to really see all of these guys, except for Rollins, who'll be here in the summer. It'll be a lot of fun competition to get to see unfold.
Well, knock on wood that everything is on track. The sun is at least shining, so we're getting there. We
Yeah.
thank you, as always, for joining us. This is like I said, recruiting question of the week. You can also leave your comments in the video itself. So if you want to ask a question, the comment section is always there for you to ask. One of you cracked me up last week, said, I didn't think you'd answer my question. Of course, if you ask below, chances are we will find a way to answer it in some way. So keep subscribing to Hail Varsity, whether that's here on YouTube. You can also subscribe at hailvarsity.com for all of our premium content. We'd love to have you. Follow Greg. Greg, any final words before I let you go for the week?
I'm glad it's warm. Look out for that recruiting notebook tonight.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Have a good rest of your day, everyone. We will see you 1 week from now. But again, we're always here at hailvarsity.com. So we're never going anywhere. Talk to you later.